Hello everyone and welcome to the next video in the series of housekeeping terminology videos. This is video number 4. My name is Dr. Samir Divanji from AISSMS. Let's begin. I have stressed the importance of technical terms and jargon very much. So please remember, to be an excellent hotelier, you have to be thorough with this, right? So let's begin straight away. Hollywood Twin Room. Hollywood Twin Room is, as you can see in the picture, is a room with twin beds, but with a common headboard. Now, why is there a common headboard? Because this bed is flexible. If need arises, you can bridge the two beds together and make it appear like a single bed or a huge bed, right? Double bed. So it is quite flexible. If you have delegates for conferences, it becomes a twin. If you have a family or a couple, it immediately can be made into a double bed. All right. So that's Hollywood Twin Room. Master keys, very important, right? For a hotel. Master keys open all guest room doors that are not double locked. And here I'd like to introduce the term Grand Master Key. Every hotel has one Grand Master Key. Now this is absolutely, should I say magical tree? Because key, sorry, because it opens all guest rooms, including double locked, and is usually also the key to use for the stores. So it's absolutely important key, and it's only with the top boss. That's the executive housekeeper in a hotel. So that's master key and grand master key. Guest house rules. These are rules that are set by the hotel's management for guests to observe during their stay at the property. While guest is God, Atiti Devo Bhava, or guest is always right, and we can bend backwards to ensure that the guest is safe, comfortable, and happy and delighted, there are also some rules that he or she need to abide by. For example, they cannot get guests in their room after 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. depending on the hotel. They cannot disturb the other guests in the adjoining room by playing loud music or creating a ruckus. Also, the hotel property needs to be taken care of. Things which are complimentary are fine, but other things have to be left the way they are in the room. So there are a lot of little rules that need to be followed, and these are guest house rules. Monogram, yes, all of us know this, anybody who sees social media or even the newspaper, any media, print media, we see so many advertisements, we see brands, we see logos, and we see monograms as well. All right. So these are letters of identification. They are almost on every literature of that brand. All right. You will see that on now this Louis Vuitton, you'll see this design on every bag that they make, or every article that they make, every accessory that they make. Even their letterhead would have this, even their bill would have this, anything and everything, because it's a part of their strong brand identity. So letters of identification woven or printed on articles in a distinctive or decorative pattern. Once you know this, think in your mind of various examples, even in the Indian context, where you see monograms which give you exactly the name of the brand. All right, it's a part of their brand identity, and it's very, very precious to them and rather expensive if you really calculate the value. Spring cleaning, I wondered where it came from, the term, but it's traditionally from its annual cleaning that everybody does post winters, especially in countries where winters are very severe. all right? It's like our Diwali or Christmas cleaning that we do, all right? So spring cleaning in hotelier terms, every day the regular cleaning that happens for rooms, that cleaning is not a very detailed in-depth cleaning, because you know that room has to be let out for arrivals, all right? But every now and then, periodically, depending on the occupancy of the hotel, depending on the chain of the hotel, category of the hotel, guest rooms are thoroughly cleaned, and that is spring cleaning. Absolutely. Every little bit, if there's a little chandelier that's brought down, maintenance is done, so it's serviced and it's clean and it's put back. Or carpet is and sofa is shampooed, and the AC duct grill, everything is taken care of. So it's really detailed cleaning. Disinfected strip, I thought during the pandemic, we all realized that it's even more important today. We are not just talking about cleaning, we are talking about sanitization, we are talking about disinfection, we're talking really high standards, right? So this is a strip, if you see, of paper on your WC in the guest room, guest bathroom, where it's put up after the toilet is thoroughly cleaned and sanitized, to let the guest know that your toilet seat has been thoroughly disinfected for your use. So it's often that strip of paper around the WC says sanitized for your use. Damp dusting, as the term says, a method of cleaning where the item to be cleaned is wiped with a damp cloth. All right. It's important to know where and when this should be done. Sometimes, if we just do dry dusting in some places, we may end up scratching those surfaces. All right, because there may be something which is a little pointed or a little not so smooth particle, and that may end up scratching that surface that we are cleaning. So we have to be very clear, and damp dusting can help in such times. Jacuzzi, now this is a term that everybody seems to say, but very few seem to know or understand. It's a term associated with spa often, swimming pool often. I'd like to tell you steam, sauna, and jacuzzi. Sauna is dry heat. Steam is, of course, the steam that generates from water. All right. So, and jacuzzi, these are the things that are used in spas also. So, what is this? It's like a whirlpool. Jacuzzis could be in guest rooms, suites, really luxurious ones, or they could be in near your swimming pool, or definitely in your spa. So it's a small pool where maximum maybe 2 or 3 guests can sit. In resorts, they may have a little bigger, where water jets from the wall of the swimming pool or whirlpool come, and these come with some force and they create a therapeutic effect. So they hit your body from the entire back and sides, and then that creates a therapeutic effect. So that's jacuzzi. It could be temperature controlled depending on the place that it is, but jacuzzi is a whirlpool typically with strong forceful water jets to it almost sort of massages your body. Housekeeping room status report. It's very important that we know what's a status report, because both front office and housekeeping keep doing status checks and reports. But housekeeping is really our feet on the floor. So it's not just staring at the computer and looking at the status, we physically check. So this report is important because you're physically checking what is the physical state of each room or status of each room. So Physical check tells us that this room on system or by the status report by front office says it's occupied, but I can't see no guest. I can't see any furniture, any baggage. All right. So that then becomes a discrepancy, of course. But status report is the status of each guest room based on physical check. SOP, I've done this term in the front office as well. Standard operating procedure is required for any and every department. These are SOPs that are created for every task, every activity, and there's a standard procedure step by step, 1, 2, 3, corresponding to the brand standards or the hotel standards, so that everybody follows the same method. Each person otherwise will come up with their own thing. All right, so that's an SOP. It's a very important document duly signed off by the authorities, and people are trained on SOPs and people are expected to follow their SOPs to the T. All right, it states step by step. Even entering a guest room is an SOP. Cleaning a toilet is an SOP. So everybody does the same. It's very important to maintain brand standards and give consistent high quality service. Remember these two things, please. CAPEX and OPEX. Yeah, these are terms related to budgets. CAPEX is capital expenditure budget and OPEX is operating expenditure budget. You must know the difference. Capital expenditure is when you want to buy a new vacuum cleaner, all right, or any furniture, anything which is a big equipment or a big purchase. That's capital expenditure. So typically remember, computers, furniture, equipment will come under capital expenditure, CAPEX. You must know these terms, CAPEX and OPEX, used very freely in the industry. OPEX, operating expenditures, are to run the department smoothly, the day-to-day things that you require. All right. So here some supplies, stationery, all that would come under OPEX. So please understand your CAPEX and OPEX well. Simple term again, stock taking, but important. Physical verification of inventory items by counting up stocks of all items at periodical intervals. It's also known as conducting inventory. You have to take a stock and check where things are gone. Very often you see a few things missing, the count not tallying, but you have to ensure your count is perfect. You can't keep losing stuff, all right? So you have to physically verify and count everything. That's stock taking. Awning is a term I thought I'll use because not very many people know this. They just think it's a covering or a canopy, which is also not wrong, but let's use the right term, awning, and please look at this spelling also. It's decorative sheets of canvas or anything thicker, right? It can be a thick fabric or it can be a material which is non-cloth material, often used for shade against sun or rain. You see this at the swimming pools, you see this on banquet tables, especially in outdoors. You see this outside windows like or balconies like you can see here. All right. So that's an awning. You have to know how to clean it. You have to know how it can be retracted or expanded, etc. There's an SOP for that as well. WAP and Weft. Finally, we come to this term, very important for fabrics and all material. Yeah, WAP yarns are yarns running lengthwise in a fabric, and Weft yarns are the yarns which are crosswise, running crosswise in a fabric. So together, WAP and Weft make a fabric, you can say. All right. So WAP and Weft, these are two terms you must know. lengthwise and crosswise yarns together making one fabric. And this is any fabric, any material. Finally, since we know WAP and Weft very well, let's look at thread count, which has the terms WAP and Weft. So this indicates the number of WAP and Weft yarns per unit of measure of fabric. Hoteliers very proudly tell guests the thread count of their bed linen or bath linen. All right, that means they use extremely high quality. If the thread count is more, obviously it's more luxurious, it's more absorbent, it's softer, it's nicer to use. All right, and of course more expensive. So that is thread count for you, and it's an indicator about the quality of the material that you're using. So as I said, a lot of housekeepers and hoteliers proudly say that we use very high thread count material in the guest room, be it bath linen or bed linen, or also maybe the any other material that is required, the bathrobe also maybe. So that's thread count for you. So these are the terms that we discussed today: Hollywood twin room, master key, guest house rules, monogram, spring cleaning, disinfected strip, damp dusting, jacuzzi, housekeeping room status report, SOP, CAPEX, OPEX, stock taking, awning, WAP and Weft, thread count. All right, you also know the grandmaster key along with this. I also threw in sauna and steam. All right, and the difference between them. Fine. So I hope this was informative. These are simple terms. Maybe it was just a revision for you, which also serves my purpose. So I've referred Raghubalan and for some terms here, and I would urge you to look at the quiz, the details of which are in the description below. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this video.